Coming up on the Suze Orman Show, how you and the love of your life can have the money talk. And a couple who divorced over money problems and now they want to try it all over again. Relationships break up over miscommunication about money. Just the fact that you weren't able to answer those two questions I just asked you, credit card debt and how much is John willing to give Ann, makes me really a little bit afraid for both of you. And you ask me, can I afford it?
My wife, her engagement ring that I bought her 3 years ago, she says it's too small and that she needs one that's bigger, and all her friends have a larger ring, so it's not appropriate for our income level. Can I afford it?
Wait. Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching the Suze Orman Show this Valentine's Day weekend. Now, I know and you know, many of you are feeling so romantic. Isn't it true? You've gone out and you've spent money on flowers, wine, chocolates. You've made reservations to take the love of your life out to a very romantic dinner. What are you going to talk about over that dinner? I don't know. But is it possible that you can just get money talk to feel romantic as well? So let's talk about what you need to know about having the money talk. You know what I'm talking about. It is important. In fact, it is vital, everybody, that if your relationship is to work, if you want your Valentine to last an entire lifetime, you have got to have that talk, the talk about money. M does not just stand for marriage, it stands for money as well. And so many of you refuse to go there. You will not get financially intimate with one another. And if you do not get financially intimate with one another, I am here to tell you your relationship may not last as long as it really should. So many times we think one thing and our partner thinks another. And then we're wondering, why are we fighting all the time? Listen, I know, I get it. It's not easy to talk about money. We have these preconceived notions about, if we talk about money, we take the romance out of things. No, we don't. You can view money as being very romantic, very sexy, very vital, very necessary. There is nothing wrong with money. What is it going to take you tomorrow to go out to dinner and pay for the bill? Money. What is it going to take to pay for the flowers? Money. What is it going to take to pay for the chocolates? Money. Money is a part of this equation. So I want you to start opening up to revealing the truth. Maybe you can do it this Valentine's Day as to how you feel about money, what you want for the two of you about money. Do you feel that there is an unequal or unequal power struggle about money? Because maybe one of you makes more and one of you makes less. One of you feels ashamed of your past, so you're trying to cover it up. You can open yourself up to a world of unlimited possibilities if you just get honest with how you feel about not only who you are, but what you have as well as what you don't have. And that brings us to our first guest tonight. Now, what happened to them? John and Ann, they met, they fell in love, they got married. They then started to argue over money. Then they got separated. Then they got divorced. And now they want to get married again. We have to listen to this one. Boyfriend, girlfriend, welcome to the Suze Orman Show. You want to get married again?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
All right, tell me about it. Why did it not work the first time?
We are fiscal unequals, and when we were married, I wasn't working at the time, so our income levels were different, and I felt like John had all the power because he had the money, and I didn't have a voice in our relationship, and that didn't work for me.
Let me just give everybody kind of the time frame on this. It was back in 2003 when you first met. In fact, it was March of 2003. By December of 2003, 3, guess what? You got engaged. Then by January of 2004, you moved in together. By May of 2004, so a little bit over a year after you met, you got married. In June of 2007, so a little bit over 3 years of being married, you got separated. In September of 2008, you got divorced. Then you started to date again in November of 2008. So just a few months after you got divorced, now you start dating again. And now here we are, September 2009, and now you start talking about getting married again, and we're now in 2010. And now here we are, Valentine's Day weekend, and you want to get hitched again. But here's the problem for me. And you just said when you first met, you were financial unequals. The truth of the matter is you're still financial unequals. You make about $25,000 a year. John makes about $75,000 a year. You have $14,000 of credit card debt. John has about $500 of credit card debt. You have FICO scores in about the 500 area. John has FICO scores in the high 700 or 800 area. So John has all this property and everything in his individual name. He's worth quite a bit of money, and you really don't have anything. So I don't know, you're still financial unequal. So what has changed to make you think, John, that this is going to work? John, answer that for me.
Well, I think that I'm taking a little different look at a relationship, and while I know we're unequal, I'm willing to make a few more sacrifices than I did before to make us more equal. I want this relationship to work, and I think the important thing that we're having trouble with is coming up with an agreement that we can both live with that will make us more financially equal.
And what would that be, Ann, for you? What would John have to do this time around that he didn't do last time?
I need to have a mutual relationship. I need to have a voice, and I need to have some security, Susie. If I commit my life to this man, I need to have some security so that I know, you know, what I'm going to live on if I'm an old lady, or what I'm going to do if he should fall off the face of the earth.
And what would that look like? All right, so again, John is making almost 3 times more than you are right now. Let's get specific here. What would John actually have to give you every month for you to feel equal?
A certain amount of money, and I don't really know what that number is, Susie, but a certain amount of money so that I won't have to ask him for money, and so that I have more of a voice. I don't want to have to ask him to, you know, for money to run the household, to be able to go out and do things that are necessary for me or for my family.
All right, and John, are you okay with any amount of money she asks you for?
No, I'm not okay with any amount of money. I'm okay with a lot of other things, though.
Would you be okay giving her $2,000 a month?
Yes, I would.
All right. Would you be okay giving her $3,000 a month?
Yes, I would.
Would you be okay giving her $4,000 a month?
No, I would not.
All right. So your limit is between $3,000 and $4,000 a month, correct?
My maximum is $3,000 a month.
So, Ann, did you know that prior to right here and now?
No.
All right, listen to me, you two. Did you see just how you looked at each other? You went through this before. Relationships break up over miscommunication about money. It's easy to love one another. It's easy to enjoy each other on every level. Where they break down is you have one concept in your head, Ann, and John has another concept in his head. His maximum that he is willing to give you per month is $3,000. Are you okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Are you great with that?
I'm great with that.
All right, great. All right, so that's the first thing that we know. Next, you're about to, if you get married, you have $14,000 of credit card debt, and would you like John to pay off your credit card debt?
Well, I would love that. I think that would be great. I don't know if he's willing to do that.
Why don't you ask him?
Are you willing to do that?
No, I don't think that's reasonable.
Okay.
And are you okay, Ann, with the fact that he is not going to pay off your credit card debt?
I'm okay with that,
Are you
Susie,
great about it?
I'm not great about it because it would help me financially, and there would be less stress in my life if I could, take care of that debt. But if I had some income, I would put it towards reducing that debt.
And what happens if all of a sudden you don't have any income, you get sick, maybe you get injured, and now the two of you are married, you're living just on John's $75,000 a year. I think that's what you make, John, right? So you're just living on John's income, but yet John, your wife Ann, still has to pay her credit card debt, but she has no income for it, and now you need to help your wife pay that credit card debt. Are you going to be okay with that?
Yes, I'd be okay with that under those circumstances, of course.
All right, but these are the things that's important. Now, I can go through this line by line with you, but here is the problem that I'm already having, the two of you. You have been now dating for a little bit. You've been enjoying one another, but you just were asked two questions that I asked you that you haven't asked of each other yet. So what have you really talked to each other about financially speaking? What have you really decided was going to be different, and how exact did you get with one another? Because just the fact that you weren't able to answer those two questions I just asked you, credit card debt and how much is John willing to give Ann, makes me really a little bit afraid for both of you.
We agreed very specifically on the fact that we would buy a house together and we would share the expense, that Ann could pick it out. I was happy with any type of house as long as it met our budget. And so that's one thing that we didn't do when we were first married that I'm convinced now we need to do, and that is buy a house together, 50-50 ownership.
All right, are you going to be asking Ann to sign a prenuptial agreement?
Yes, I am.
And what will you be asking her to exclude from the possibility of that she could get that? What will you be asking her that she cannot have access to?
Other assets that I own.
All right. And are you okay with that?
I'm not great with it, and I'm okay with some of the other assets, yes.
Wasn't it true that the prenup of your original marriage was almost the downfall of that marriage? It was like you were saying, sign it on the way to the church. If you don't sign it within 1 week, we're not going ahead with this. So wasn't the prenup a major bone of contention the first time around?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
And what's
I'll agree with
changed?
that.
Yeah, that's good. You two are cute. All right. So, and what has changed that it's no longer a bone of contention between the two of you?
I'm not sure it's not a bone of contention. What we're wanting to do, Susie, is since the first one was a bone of contention, we're hoping to do it right this time.
All right, so let me give you now some guidelines and some suggestions as to how I think you actually should go about doing what you want to do.
Okay.
I personally think you still have a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of miscommunication when it comes to money. John, I think you have come a tremendous way, sir. A tremendous long way, wanting to share the equity that was in your original house, wanting to give Ann $3,000 up to $3,000 a month. Love all of that about you. But Ann, I think it is very important that you put out exactly what you expect, what you want, and what you need. The prenup, you just said, is still something that doesn't sit quite right with you. In my personal opinion, John is coming into this relationship again with assets that he worked very hard to accumulate, to get, and I think it is his right to leave this relationship if it does not work out with all of the assets that he wants to protect. Now, sometimes we're women and we think these men have it together and they're really strong and they can do it again. And they feel many times, in my opinion, just as afraid and just as vulnerable as us women do, but they don't have the outlet to express it. So right around Valentine's Day, right when we're talking about the heart here, I think we should understand that men have a very vulnerable and precious heart. And we need to take care of their heart equally as much as we want them to take care of ours. So I think it would go a very long way For you two to absolutely agree that whatever asset John wants to protect prior to this point that he has in his individual name, he should be allowed to do that. Now, in terms of splitting money, the last problem, the last time, was that Anne, you made a considerably lesser amount than John, but at times John wanted you to split the bills 50-50, correct?
Some of them.
The way it should be done, again, is this. Let's just say, John, you make $7,000 a month. Let's just say, Anne, you make $3,000 a month. That's $10,000 a month together. That is what you are bringing home. Let's just say that's true. Your joint expenses for your mortgage, whatever it may be, is $3,000 a month. You will divide the $10,000 into the $3,000 of your joint expenses. That will equal 30%. And you will take 30% of your $3,000, which is $900 a month. And John, you will take 30% of your $7,000, that's $2,100 a month. And you will put those two amounts in a joint checking account. They equal $3,000. It is from that joint checking account that you will pay those $3,000 worth of joint expenses. All other money should be kept separate in your own names in separate accounts. That way you are contributing equal percentages to the joint expenses, not equal amounts of money. And that's what regulates the power within a relationship. The next thing would be this. You have moved very quickly from meeting, engaging, marrying, divorce, wanting to be married again. You currently both live in two separate places. I would like you, before you buy a new home, I would like you, Anne, you're renting a place, put your stuff in storage, let John pay for it. You are to move into John's home for now. You are to experiment again what it feels like living together side by side again, sharing expenses in the format that I discussed again. After you have done that for 1 full year, then I would put together a prenuptial agreement, and 1 year after putting together that prenuptial agreement, I would get married. So I would slow down the timeline, I would live together again, I would share expenses again, I would write down everything, so everything is in writing as to this, and that. John can start giving you $3,000 a month right now, but I would live together before I said I do. How's that sound to both of you?
Sounds fine to me.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
I
so
like
good.
it.
So that's the plan. And listen to me. I want to follow up with you. I want to know how it works, but I want the two of you to communicate. There's nothing better when two people come back in love, but it can be complicated.
I'm a saver married to a spender. Her reasoning is that she works hard and deserves to buy anything she wants. We have a very strong marriage other than this.
Other than this, you know, that
Yeah.
always scares me. And later, been wanting something? Ask me, can I afford it?
It's an electric roadster. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds.
What does your wife think?
Well, I tell her that it's cheaper than a mistress.
Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Let's go to Mike in Pennsylvania. Happy Valentine's Day. You are on the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, good evening, Susie. Well, I'm a saver married to a spender. We are total opposites when it comes to money. My wife does have a great FICO score and a really good job, but she spends money just for the sake of spending. We have no debt other than our mortgage, so she feels we're doing great. However, we have no money set aside for our kids' college, and not that much. We have some put away for retirement, but not as much as we should. When we do talk about money, I try to encourage her to save more and spend less, and she feels I treat her like a child and that I'm micromanaging her. Her reasoning is that she works hard and deserves to buy anything she wants.
Mike, how long have you been married?
Well, this is both of our second marriages.
Yep.
We've been married 4 years.
4 years. All right. Between you and me, here we are, the most romantic time of the year. is the fact that she doesn't want to listen to you, that she doesn't care enough about your joint future together. Does that shut down the romance for you somewhat?
No, it really doesn't. We have a great romantic life.
Right.
So that, we have a very strong marriage other than this.
Other than this, that
Yeah.
always scares me. It's like that, other than this, the money problem isn't that big of a deal, when the truth of the matter is 1 out of 2 people who get married get divorced, and their main reason for divorce is arguments over money. Now, you've only been married 4 years. So after 4 years, you're still into this love fest stage. It hasn't been that long. Usually the 7-year mark is the mark that things start to get rough. 7 or 8 years when it's not quite so new, not quite so vital. So here would be my advice to you. There's got to be a way for the two of you to have the money talk in such a way that she doesn't feel like you are her father talking to her. But sometimes when we feel like a child, it's not your fault, Mike, for making us feel like a child. We feel like a child because we're acting like a child, and we know we're acting like a child, but we don't want to admit it to anybody that we're acting like a child. If she is not saving for retirement, if you don't have at least an 8-month emergency fund, if you don't have enough money put aside to make sure that if something happens today, that you would be okay tomorrow, then that is being totally irresponsible, not only to yourself, but to the partner that you said, I do with. So there has to be a way for you to sit down with her, talk with her, not at her. Tell her how it's hurting you. Tell her how you're afraid. Tell her how you cry sometimes, if you do, because you don't feel you have an equal partner with somebody who wants your future as much as you do. If you come from your heart, she will hear you. If you come from your mind, she won't. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it? I just have to ask you this, and I know this isn't what the Can I Afford It segment's supposed to be about. Did you love the ring that you gave her when you gave it to her, my dear Neil?
I did, and I thought she did too.
Also,
I want to upgrade to an 8-carat diamond bracelet.
what do you have now?
Well, I have a 5-carat bracelet.
What do you want to buy?
Membership in a wine club.
An electric roadster.
8-carat diamond bracelet.
Yes, Valentine's Day lovebirds out there. Whether it's Valentine's Day weekend or not, you have to know if you can afford something that you want to buy the person that you love. So this is the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in. You tell me what it is you want to buy. I ask you a few questions, and oh yes, I tell you if you can afford it or not. Let's see what our little love bugs have in store for us tonight. All right, Neil, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Great to talk to you. My wife, her wedding ring, the engagement ring that I bought her 3 years ago, she says it's too small and that she needs one that's bigger, and all her friends have a larger ring, so it's not appropriate for our income level. And so we're having our own internal Can I Afford It?
Wait. What does that mean that it's not appropriate for your income level? Would you not say that Miss Orman probably has an income 50,000 times greater than yours? I do. Okay. Perhaps. Oh, I do. Trust me.
Probably.
Probably. Yes, I do. And have you ever noticed, like, I'm in a relationship. Do I wear the jewelry that would be appropriate for my income level? No. Not if we're going to go by what your wife is saying. I wear the jewelry that I love, that has meaning to me. The necklace that I wear has a lot of meaning to me because somebody gave it to me who means more to me than life itself. My rings are identical with KT's, my life partner. These rings mean more to me than life itself. I am not out here to impress other people with what I have. I'm here to wear things that have feeling for me. I just have to ask you this, and I know this isn't what the Can I Afford It segment's supposed to be about. Did you love the ring that you gave her when you gave it to her, my dear Neil?
I did, and I thought she did too. I mean, she did. It's just...
All right, so we'll go over this and see if you can afford it or not, but doesn't it just hurt your heart a little bit that she wants to impress other people rather than cherishing the ring that you gave her when you fell in love with her?
It does a little bit, but we have both agreed that we would do the responsible thing and buy a less expensive ring now, and we would upgrade at some point down the road. I just didn't think it would be quite so soon.
Yes. Show me the money, Neil.
Okay, we make $11,600 a month take-home combined. We have
That's
two rental
good.
properties.
That's good.
In Michigan, we've moved to Maryland for another job, but we couldn't sell a house in Michigan, so we have $1,800 a month when they pay it.
Yeah.
We have about $8,800 in our expenses, and then for our debt, we have the $99,000 mortgage on one of the properties. The other one we just finished paying off. We have $38,000 in student loans, and then in liquid cash, $17,000, a little bit in investments, and then about $128K in retirements.
All right, so the truth of the matter is maybe your wife has a good reason to feel this way. You're making a lot of money, $11,000, almost $12,000 a month. You really are doing fine financially. However, when you really look beneath the glimmer of the diamond, you are denied. And the reason you are denied is not because I just think how she feels is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, no. It's because you have $17,000 in an emergency fund. This ring is $5,200, assuming you're going to pay for it in cash. That brings you down, because you are not financing anything on the Suze Orman Show. Even if it's at 0% interest rate, it doesn't happen here. That brings you down to $12,000 of an emergency fund. You just said to me your monthly expenses are $8,800 a month. You need at least $64,000 in an emergency fund to cover it, because you also said when your tenants happen to pay the rent, if they do. So no, you are denied, and you are to tell her she should be so proud of the original ring that she was given, and she should not ever want to upgrade. How dare she judge herself on what she shows people versus the love that the two of you have between each other. Cindy, what can I do for you?
Happy Valentine's Day, Susie.
Thank you, sweetheart. What do you want to buy?
Well, my partner and I would like to buy a membership in a wine club.
Ooh, $1,400 a year. Do you drink a lot of wine?
Well, we have friends that enjoy wine, and we get together and we share wine. So, yeah, we enjoy it, and yeah, we drink a lot.
You do? Okay. So, but you're not luscious. You just love wine. All right. $1,400 a year? Let's see. Show me the money.
Okay. We have $75.33 a month combined income. Expenses of $55.77.
Yeah.
Debt $6,000 left on a 15-year fixed mortgage. $51,000 in savings and $259K in retirement.
All right, so the truth of the matter is you're 54 years of age. You're getting up there, so to speak. I can say that because, we're right there together. And one might look at this and go, but Susie, she doesn't really have 8 months of an emergency fund. They're really cutting it close and things like that. So even though I know you love wine, as everybody is watching, they will have total understanding, I am sure, when I say to you, you have been approved.
Wow.
And the reason that you're approved is this. In just another 6 years, you are going to own your home outright. When you own your home outright, all these other things are happening. You're going to have Social Security coming in. Your expenses are so low, and you've done everything so right. Oh, go out there and toast each other this incredible Valentine's Day weekend. Got that? All right, Michael, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Michael, my little sweetheart. Are you buttering me up? Because you must want something serious here. What do you want to buy?
Well, yes, Susie, I'm having my midlife crisis, and I'm feeling the need for speed.
Speed, the type you take, the pills?
No.
No, not that. Oh, I'm looking at it. You want to buy a 2011 Testa Roadster for $101,000?
Yes, ma'am, I do. But the great thing about this is I don't have to put gas in it.
Because it's electric. What is it?
It's an electric Roadster. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds.
$101,500. That is a lot of financial hearts, don't you think?
I agree.
What does your wife think?
Well, I tell her that it's cheaper than a mistress, but that doesn't have the desired effect.
I was going to say, maybe Tiger Woods should have tried that. Anyway, that's besides the point. Yes, I know that's an old story now, but anyway, it still just baffles me. All right, show me the money, boyfriend.
Okay. My wife and I have $17,283 a month combined income.
Yeah.
Our expenses are $6,233 a month.
Yeah.
We own our home outright. We have no debt.
Yeah.
We have $132,000 in savings, $409,000 in investments, and $530,000 in retirement savings.
And so, all right. So, and how are you going to pay for this?
Well, I think I can save ahead for it. I think I can save about half over, say, the next year, and then take the other half out of savings.
And that is why you were buying a 2011 versus a 2010.
That's right.
So you're projecting into next year. So you're going to be taking $65,000 or $50,000 from your $132,000, which will leave you correctly about $80,000 or so in savings. Yes?
That's about right, yes.
That's about right. What do you're making me laugh. What do you think I'm going to say to you?
Well, I'm hoping you're going to approve me, Susie.
Are you hoping like really a lot that I'm going to approve? A $101,000, $500, $102,000 car, essentially. You are hoping that Ms. Orman's going to approve you?
I am. I'm appealing to a higher authority.
You are? Well, that higher authority says you are approved.
Yay!
And the reason that you are approved, I know, I cannot believe I approved you, but your expenses are so low that your 8-month emergency fund is more than twice covered almost, even after you have paid for the car. You're going to have this car. You have enough in retirement to generate the income without Social Security for you to pay your expenses. Michael, you have done everything right. I sure hope you still want it after you buy it. All right, Terry, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. I love today. I just love it's tomorrow, but I just love Valentine's Day.
Me too, Susie.
All right.
First of all, I have to say thanks for inviting me to be on your show. I'm so excited.
Oh, anytime. Now, tell me what it is you want to buy.
I want to buy an 8-carat diamond bracelet. Let me explain,
Oh, of
Susie.
course, yes.
I want to upgrade to an 8-carat diamond bracelet.
What do you have now?
Well, I have a 5-carat bracelet that I've had for nearly 15 years.
Do you really think anybody's going to notice the difference for 45?
Susie.
Well, I just have to ask, 3 carats. 3 carats divided among a whole bracelet. Do you think anybody's really going to notice the difference between 5?
I think so. I think so, Susie.
I caught you.
I love
wait,
my
wait.
bracelet.
I caught you. The answer I wanted to hear from you was, I, Suze Orman, personally don't care what other people notice about my bracelet. I notice. I want it. That's why I'm doing it. You didn't say that.
Well, I should have, because
should
I
have.
love my bracelet. I wear it every day, never take it off. So it's brought me a lot of joy.
Girlfriend, show me the money.
Okay. I presently take home about $3,600 a month.
Oh, great. We're going to spend more than 1 month's worth of work to buy 3
Susie.
carats more. Okay, go on.
My expenses are a little under $1,800 a month.
All right, well, that's good.
I own my condo outright.
Nice.
I have no credit card debt whatsoever.
Great.
I'm holding about $54,000 in cash.
Yeah.
$136,000 in investments that I probably can get the money out anytime I'd like to.
Yes.
And my retirement accounts have about $226,000 in them.
And you will shortly, if you want to, start to collect Social Security, correct?
In a couple years, Susie.
How much will your Social Security be?
Approximately $1,800 a month.
Equal to what your expenses are, correct?
That's right.
All right, so here, let's make it easy for you. I know that you really want this, and I really would like to want it for you. But however, you are 61 years of age. We're only talking about 3 carats here difference. We're talking about $4,500, which is more than 1 month's salary for you. So bottom line is this. you have been approved. And you've been approved, girlfriend, because your expenses, again, just like Michael, our previous caller, your expenses are so low, they're going to be taken care of by Social Security. You have all this other money. You are doing just great. Oh, you go sparkle this Valentine's Day weekend, sweetheart, and you show everybody how great 3 more carats can be. All right, do you want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? You see, I can fool you, can't I? You did not think in a million years that I was going to tell Michael he could buy that car, did you? What do you know? Want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? You go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you will find everything you need to know there to come and play with me right here.
My boyfriend is having an IRS issue, and they're coming after him for about $2,000 in back taxes.
Yep. Something is happening where you, this is my opinion, where you are seeing a side of him that you've never seen before, and it's starting to worry you. Is that not true? Welcome back, everybody, on this Valentine's Day weekend. Love is in the air, isn't it? Oh, yes, just catch it, go out there and catch it. But anyway, let's go to Kelly in Wisconsin.
Hi, Susie. Thank you for taking my call.
Anytime, Kelly.
Well, my question, my boyfriend is having an IRS issue, and they're coming after him for about $2,000 in back taxes.
Yeah.
And they've frozen all his money and all his paychecks.
Yeah.
And while the process is going on, I've been helping support him, and he's actually taken a small loan from the law firm that's helping him.
Yeah.
But the frustration, and I'm financially supporting him, and it's really taking a toll on our relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, how long do you think this can go on?
It can go on a long, long, long time, especially if he's not paying them back. He should set up a payment plan where he is paying them back every single month. But when you start dealing with the IRS, they have the legal authority to seize bank accounts, your page, anything they want. That is one creditor that you never, ever, ever want to owe money to. However, the real question to you is, why is this taking its toll on you? What do you feel? Do you feel like he hasn't changed his ways? You don't like how he's dealing with the IRS? Something is happening where you, this is my opinion, where you are seeing a side of him that you've never seen before, and it's starting to worry you. Is that not true?
Yes, that's true.
All right. And so what is that side that you're seeing of him that's now worrying you?
Well, just the part that he couldn't get this resolved, and it got to this point. That's the most frustrating thing.
And has that affected how you feel about him?
To a degree, yes.
All right, now, here's the good news, girlfriend. You are just his girlfriend. You are not his wife. You aren't even his fiancée at this point in time. I started tonight's show with saying we have to have the money talk. And if we can't talk about the money, if we see things that are in a relationship dealing with the money that we do not like, I am begging you to pay attention to those financial dollar signs that are coming your way. If in your gut it does not sit right with you, then you have got to honor yourself enough to tell him you no longer are going to pay for him, you are not going to solve this problem for him, that he is going to have to deal with it himself. Now, depending on how he responds to you, a love response would be, honey, I get that. I get that you're aggravated with me. I don't blame you for feeling this way. It's all right. I'll figure out a way to handle it. I still love you. If, however, that should be his response if he loves you. If his response is, fine, how do you expect me to do this? How am I going to settle this problem? You know I'm strapped for cash. You know I can't do this. What's the matter with you? That is your sign that you should very sooner than later say bye-bye.
My boyfriend and I are in the early stages of
How early?
engaged.
How early?
Pretty early.
Let me ask you this. When you knew that you were going to go from dating to engagement, when did you start to have the money talk with him? welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Sandra.
Hi, Susie. How are you?
Oh, Sandra, I'm fabulous. What can I do for you tonight?
Well, my boyfriend and I are in the early stages of getting engaged.
How early?
Pretty early. We're trying to just figure some things out. When should we? How much should the wedding cost, etc.
So you are going now from the dating phase to the engagement phase to the marriage phase.
Yes, very excited.
What is his FICO score, by the way?
He actually has an 800, believe it or not.
I love that.
No debt.
He has no debt. And let me ask you this. When you knew that you were going to go from dating to engagement, when did you start to have the money talk with him?
Oh, we've been having the money talk. We've been together 3.5 years. We've been having the money talk since we first started dating because I've been in debt.
Love that. I just have to ask you, this is a very strange question that I'm about to ask you. Was it easier to have the money talk or get undressed in front of him the first time?
I didn't have an issue with either.
That's my girl anyway. What's your question for me tonight?
He would like to help me with my credit, with fixing my FICO score.
Yeah.
And I had some debt. I still have debt. I have about $25,000. $11,000 of that is my student loan.
Yeah.
And it's been over 10 years, and I defaulted it quite a long time ago. I am paying my monthly payments now, $150, but it's not going down. It's not decreasing.
Let me ask you, does he have $25,000 to easily just pay that off for you and it wouldn't be a big deal for him?
Yes.
Let him pay it. Done. Over. Next.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah.
I will
Here's
do
the
that.
thing, listen, when two people come together in relationship, and I have been in this situation, and one person has more, right, than the other person at times. Money, if you have especially a lot of money, money's the easiest thing that there is to solve somebody else's problem. It's not a big deal. And if he loves you so much that he wants to get rid of your debt for you, and it's not a big deal for him, and he still has 8 months of an emergency fund, he still has a whole lot of money besides that, his retirement accounts, and he's just flush with money, he loves you and he wants you to feel free. When you feel free, he feels better with you because now two of you are flying together. So let him do it. All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Now, as you know, tomorrow night is Valentine's Day. Two things that I want to say. It was 1 year ago, right now, that I sat here saying, wouldn't it be great if all of us could have equality in marriage? And it still hasn't happened. I can only pray that next year, maybe I can have some good news for all of us. Also, a lot of you are going to spend money on chocolates, on flowers. You know, those things come and go. Why don't you give your love something that will last forever? Oh, I will let you decide on what that is. So, in the end, there's only one thing that I want you to remember when it comes to your money, and it is this: people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe. KT, I love you so very, very much. Bye-bye.